The role of healthcare providers or suppliers of healthcare and employers, and then just to bring triangulation properly into the question, maybe the funders of health is also often, indirectly the employer or the employee even, but that's the interesting dynamic between these three parties. So you might say that, as a healthcare provider, yes, we know prevention is better than cure, but I know if my patients are too healthy, they don't come back. So it is an important aspects. Obviously, service providers, medical service providers, got very high ethical standards, and the oath of Hippocrates is still very relevant in that space. So we do believe that they ultimately care for their patients, but there's not very good relationships on that level. Yes, some of the manufacturing environments, mining, those type of environments has got on-site occupational health abilities and so on. And that's where it is almost strange that the biggest need in terms of that is actually on the white-collar workers. Because there's very little discussion between employers and service providers, and often client-patient relationships does constrain that. But I think that's also once again where the funder wants to add better value, not from a disclosing ABC person has got XYZ disease, and no, to reveal, you've got a prevalence of, let's say, 5% of high cholesterol employees. We've got studies that say stress-related scenarios, is conducive to hypertension and cholesterol buildup. Why don't we, look in terms of getting a method where we can identify on a voluntary basis those individuals that's got a lot of stress. Now, just to elaborate on this. Sahika, the chartered accountants, did a study a couple of years ago, which was quite fascinating, where and we all know that financial uncertainty is a major driver of stress, and stress is a major driver of illness. So what they realized, what was fascinating about the scenario, is that they couldn't find any correlation between financial uncertainty and job security. So we would think people in a secure job is financially certain, is stress lower, but it wasn't the case. And often what we find is that people maybe in a very entrepreneurial environments got very little job security, but they've planned for it. And accordingly, there's less financial uncertainty. And that's really what I think drove the realization. We then got involved and we went to see, okay, but people that's got financial certainty, disregarding level of income, what was the common denominator there? And we realized common denominators there is that they all have household budgets, they're very diligent around their finances, they write expenses and income up, and they kind of stick to that. And that's why, as a medical aid, we're not a financial advisory, we don't render those services, but what we want to tell people is just be fit. Just write down, do the budget, get into control of your money. And the effect that will have in terms of optimizing job satisfaction, engagement at the workplace, and just feeling better about yourself and being more healthy is phenomenal. And I think those are the smaller messages where I think engagements needs to be more direct between service providers and employers, because maybe it's not allergy to gluten that's the problem. Maybe it is I'm financially unsure, and maybe there's other ways to look at that.